What's going on? Figured I'd give a quick update on a few things and some things that are to come with my S13, my original S13 that I owned, now think about it, what, 13 years ago. I can't do math for some reason. That I wrecked at a drift event and then end up buying back 8 years later sitting under a tree in Georgia. So, last weekend, I did some bartering with a buddy. I was able to trade my detailing services of just auto detailing and whatnot for Cerakote on my manifold, turbo elbow, and downpipe. So that stuff should be done here soon, and I should have back from him, maybe within the next week or so. And I'm gonna get that stuff together and show you guys a little bit of some other things for Metric Drift Solutions that my brother and I have been working on when it comes to adapting the turbo and manifold together and keeping it sealed and keeping it from leaking and or rattling off the hardware. There's a really big issue with that on any T25, T28 flange. We've got a really cool solution. I will kind of pop up a picture here on the screen of what that item is. It's nothing more than just some vibration resistant washers and then like a top lock nut that's high grade that you can actually torque down and tighten quite a bit. So I'll talk a little bit about that and then of course show the process once I bolt the manifold and turbo and elbow and everything up together. So I do have, somewhere back here, I do have some gaskets and some things my brother gave me, but there's a company called Remflex. I think that's what it's called, and it's a like thicker, more malleable gasket almost in a way. And my brother has used it on his S15, and I'll drop a picture in there to show you guys. But it's supposed to seal like uneven surfaces and whatnot. So these turbos, and obviously this being a cheap China turbo that I bought for 150 bucks online, it will seal up that surface if it's uneven. So I'm gonna order one of those and then put everything together, and I'll put a video up showing some of those details. But the last video I got the rear coilovers on the car, got the wheels just kind of mocked up. I am gonna order some brake rotors soon, but with one thing that was kind of crazy, which I think I might end up getting rid of these Cobra wheels. I love them. I think it's a cool design, kind of cool to pull over, the Mustang wheels to an S13. It's just kind of this very easy look, but these wheels are heavy. These are actual Terminator wheels. These are just the remakes from American Muscle, but it's probably 35 or 40 pounds per wheel in weight. So when I actually put the pack ones on and shut the hatch of the car and had the hood open, the car almost came off the jack stands. It literally lifted off the jack stand here by like 2 inches, and I just threw my body on the front of the car, and then I put the coilover box on to distribute some weight. So it's something I've been wanting to potentially change. I got these wheels for a deal. They were like 350 bucks. I got the tires for a deal as well. So it worked out pretty good, but I think I do want to potentially change them to something lighter, maybe have a little bit better offset for the front of the car. So that is something I'm gonna do. Since the weight distribution is a little off, I'm gonna leave this box on here until I can move some things around. But for the front of the vehicle, the engine bay and all of the front core support, I am going to paint it a flat red. I tried to order some paint through work. Come to be that the just from Rust-Oleum, it's discontinued. So I think what I'm going to use is the VHT Flameproof. Get it at AutoZone for like 12 bucks a can. I'm gonna give me a couple cans and start prepping this over the next week or two, pulling some of the wiring out of the way, rewrapping some things, painting the front core support, and painting all of this here all the way up to where I've done the undercoating. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll post a video working on that. Weather's kind of sucked and been working a ton, so haven't had too much of a chance to really work on the car. But those are the few things that are kind of coming soon. The next thing I know I've talked about a million times, but I am gonna get some angle ordered. So most likely gonna go with Villains knuckle setup and control arm. I think I might go with a 30 or 40 mil extended control arm, and then that'll probably pitch the wheels out maybe about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch worth of poke. I'll try to camber it in and get it to fit into the fender. But the big thing that I'm wanting to get to fairly soon is just the car as a roller. It's been a goal of mine over the last couple months, and just things have come up in place that have kept me from doing so. So I will get the engine bay painted soon, get the front suspension on, get the front coilovers on, get some new Metric Drift Solutions hardware for the coilover top hat. Funny enough, these coilovers, extremely nice quality. I'm happy with them so far. Obviously have not drove on them or anything, but this is just one thing about the hardware kits that we're coming out with, and just a little thing that I think is helpful, but also, you know, a thing that's a little bit annoying when this happens. So the rear coilovers on this thing, when I was putting them on, you know, these obviously still being a cheaper, most likely Chinese or Taiwanese made coilover, the hardware was a 12 mil and a 13 mil nut on one side. Now, hardware that we provide in the kits, like this, M8, serrated flange nuts, you know, things like that, you're not gonna have that problem with the stuff that we have in the kits. Everything is gonna be true to size. It's gonna be a 13 millimeter for both. It's gonna all match, and it's not gonna be, you know, a mismatched deal. So this is just a little bit of a Harbor Freight bolt rack I've set up just to start kind of inventorying some of the stuff that I have, you know, different types of hardware that I'll need to under the car, studs for the turbo. So a higher quality stud than factory, grade 10.9. You know, pairing that with the vibration resistant washers is quite a bit better. I do have a little bit of lockout kits for an S13. So if you guys are interested, check the link in the bio. You know, you can jump on the eBay page. You could also jump on the website, metricdriftsolutions.com, and check that stuff out too. And we have a direct link to the eBay because that is the selling platform we have right now. But we actually plan to move everything to the website here pretty soon. That way it's a little bit easier to buy, as well as it's easier for us to place some more products on the website. So we're thinking about, we've got S13, S14 lockout kits. We've got the T25, T28 hardware kits that I talked about earlier in the video. We've got coilover top hats, cross member replacement kits. We also have stuff as simple as steering wheel kits as well. Kind of something that can be hard to find, or that you can spend, you know, too much time and money trying to find. I can get my steering wheel out. But just the flathead screws to go into quick release in the steering wheel. Simple, just little solutions that we're coming up with that make sense for these cars. We've had a lot of feedback from other customers and people who have been asking about it and interested in it. One guy in particular saying he wasted like 50 bucks trying to go to the hardware shop finding bolts for his cross member, and then he found out that we have the kit for the S13. So, you know, if you haven't stripped out the bolts, or they haven't been stripped by a previous owner, we've got the full replacement bolts for the cross member that are actually a little bit longer in thread. So instead of having a short fastener, you have that additional length here for thread engagement. Allows it to go up and into the body a little bit more. And that's one thing on the S13s for the cross members that become a problem. So just little stuff like that we've come out with that, you know, I think it's a pretty cool solution. So you guys definitely check that out and kind of keep your eye out on the website. There's gonna be more things to come, just really a lot of replacement stuff for an S13, and just kind of ways to, if you're building a car, you need some specialty hardware, there's some stuff that's just kind of hard to find, and you know, we're gonna have some different options for you. So The other thing that I did get in this week is, I'm gonna open this up here too. Z1 Motorsports is some brake pads. I've got some Z32 calipers that I bought off of eBay that are all my mess over here. They're the Iron OEM Reman calipers. Move this bottom harness out of the way. So they're the OEM Nissan Reman calipers, where there were some issues with the, I think, twin turbo brakes, where some of them would flex on the aluminum piece. But got these on eBay a while ago for $100. I thought it was a pretty good deal. Obviously, you want to rebuild them, and I do have a rebuild kit sitting here for them. But the one thing in particular that is kind of hard to find, and I think most people suggest when you rebuild them, these things split in half here, and there's an O-ring in between here that seals what they call the halves of the caliper. Extremely hard to find, but Z1 Motorsports had them. They were $4 for the 4 O-rings. Shipping kind of sucked because it was like standard rate shipping for like 17 bucks. So I just went ahead and took advantage to get some new hardware, and these were, you see the part number here, it's, I think, ceramic front brake pads. So I'm gonna rebuild these here in the next few weekends at my brother's house. I've got a compressor, but I don't have a hookup yet for all the hoses and everything, nor an outlet or power over this corner. So he's done brake calipers a few times and rebuilt them. So I'm gonna go over to his house and do that. And then he's also got some S13 calipers that are in better condition than mine that he's gonna let me have. And I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna rebuild those quickly so I can get those on the back of the car. The ones that I have here are pretty crusty. They definitely need to be replaced. Yeah, so I just want to give a quick update. You know, let me know any questions, things like that, feedback. If you end up buying a Metric Drift Solutions kit, shout me out. You can tag us or tag the Instagram page as well. So if you do buy some stuff, we want to see it and we want to hear about it, get your feedback on it. It's just kind of growing the product line and the business a little bit. So for now, that'll be it on this video. And then I'll see you guys in the next one, which will be hopefully engine bay paint and me actually working on the car rather than yapping.